welcome to my channel. How are you? It's me, Kia. This is Tip for Tap Tarot. Today I'm going to do a pick a card, or pick a pile, or pick a deck, whoever you want to look at it. And it's going to be, what are your hidden talents? Maybe some of the talents you do know about, maybe some you don't. I'm going to use a different deck with each pile, and I do have some pre-shuffled, a few oracle cards as well as one major arcana. You can pick based on the deck. I got the Sacred Bee, or Journey of the Sacred Bee Tarot, or the Mystic Medleys Tarot, or you can pick it based on pile 1 or 2, or you can look in the description box at the timestamps and pick it according to the numbers in there, whatever feels right to you. So go on and pick your pile, and I'll see you there. Hi, pile 1. So we're asking today, what are your hidden talents? And I'm going to start with the few cards that I have that were pre-shuffled and put out, and then I'm going to use the tarot to clarify and get some more details. So the first one I did is just like only a major arcana. Kind of like, you know, your archetype, I suppose you could say. And you have the World card. We have Elder, Ancient Wisdom. This one. I've got Continuance. It's number 26. It's an apple. Ooh, Abundance. And for this one, it says Lavender and Surround Yourself with Love. You know, maybe I'll just do this. Put them all up here together. So I do feel that right off the bat that you are like a really wise person, and that you might actually be somebody that gives like really great advice. Like maybe you notice that like a lot of your friends or even random people, like acquaintances, or heck, even coworkers, come to you for advice. People want to know what you think. There's like this sense that you are very intelligent and think a little bit differently, or just people really value how you think about things, and that they often want to know what you think. This is a lot of Capricorn energy, so you could be a Capricorn, or have like a lot of Capricorn in your chart, or maybe like, you know, Saturn in your chart has a really like potent placement. You might even be like approaching a Saturn return, which like that's basically, if you know anything about astrology, it'd be like it takes about something like 30 years or so before Saturn ends up back in the same position it was when you were born. So the first Saturn returns around the age of 30 years old, and I think the next time it's like 55, and then it's like 80 or something like that. You could go look that up. So you might actually be around those ages, one of them. Or it could just be pointing out that that's kind of like maybe around that age. Either A, if you're young and you're not quite, say, like 30 years old yet, that could be pointing out that by then you're going to have like a lot of experience. I feel like no matter how old you are, you're like an old soul, and that you've overcome a lot. You've gone through a lot. I kind of have a feeling of even maybe of like possible like struggle with like poverty. I definitely see a lot of like wisdom Like right here, this symbol like reminds me of like the high priestess. So I think that you're someone who's incredibly intuitive. By the way, this has number 19 on it, and this is 26, and that was kind of also, and then with the like Capricorn symbol and the Saturn, that's like why I was talking about the Saturn return, and then like the age of like around 30 years old. But yeah, I feel like you are, one of your hidden talents is being like a very good listener, very good at like, you might even be like a quiet person who does a lot more observing, and that's why people come to you for advice, because there's just something about your energy that says that you know, you're not just, like when you talk, it's important. I feel like definitely like an old soul kind of thing. That's why I was saying it really doesn't matter what your age actually is, because you could be really young, but I do feel that you've gone through a lot of things in your life that gives you like a different perspective, and also a lot of empathy and just wisdom. Absolutely, for sure. And you might, like, this is kind of random, but I was gonna say that you might even have like a hidden talent, like something to do with like plants or flowers or growing things, possibly. Which, of course, that could be like, you could take that any way you want. That could be like literal of like growing actual plants and being a gardener or flowers or what have you. But it could also be the idea of like kind of like growing people, I suppose. Like you, again, I just keep going back to the idea that your hidden talent is like, I feel like you might not even realize the impact that you make. You know, like I think that you say things, or you've said things that have actually made a very huge difference to people and really like changed their view, or like, and you might not even know. This could be something, someone could have made a decision really based because you really opened their eyes. Yeah, I feel like like, and again, you might be someone who doesn't even say a lot often, but when you do, it's very like impactful. I also kind of have this feeling that you're probably a woman. You don't have to be, but I am getting that, like a lot of feminine energy. Yeah, let's see what the tarot gives us. You're a calming person, I think, too. Somebody that people like enjoy being, like you know, being around. I think though you might sometimes feel like an outsider, like someone who's like, it's almost like because you're this old soul who just has had so many kind of like, I just sense like a harsh maybe upbringing or just harsh experiences, that sometimes you might feel like you're just different, and you feel like you are sometimes like an outsider looking in, but that's actually turns out to be like a positive for you. All right, Spirit, for my viewer, what are their hidden talents? We have Five of Wands. It's a strife. It's another, it's Leo and Saturn, or Saturn and Leo. So it's a lot of Saturn energy. And that's, Saturn is like, that's a tough planet, you know, that's a tough teacher. We have the Knight of Wands, and we have the Two of Swords. It says peace on it. We have the Sun and the Nine of Wands. So yeah, really, like, your hidden talent is, like, honestly, you're somebody who, like, very much, like, perseveres through incredibly tough times. I can see that you've been through a lot, but you nonetheless persevere, and I think that you still actually do keep a very positive outlook. Because I just noticed, like, all the flowers, and then these look like dandelions right here. And then, like, it's the same like, same kind of, like, flower up there. So I feel like you're actually just, it's maybe that, it's amazing because it's like, that in its own way is kind of wisdom. Being able to, it's not like you're just naive. It's like, it's very admirable to be like, wow, you've been through so much, and yet you're still so put together and kind and happy, and like, despite any roadblocks that you've encountered in your life and how many obstacles, and it just seems like there's been a lot of challenges, and even from, like, from people, like, potentially, like could have been like a hard childhood, and even despite that, you still keep going. This is continuance, persistence. Yeah, and you, like, didn't I say you were, because of lavender made me think of, like, calming and all that. This is peace. You're just somebody who's very, like, a peaceful presence, and you haven't allowed the horrible things that have happened. And I really don't say the word horrible lightly. I really do feel like there's been a lot of hardship in your life, but you don't let that, like, own you and destroy you. You still have overcome, and it's made you wise. It's made you someone who's a really good conversationalist. Like, people want to know your opinion on things. If anything, it's almost like your talent is being like some people crumble when there's pressure, but if anything, it almost makes you stronger, and you like, are more determined to, like, be successful. And I think you do, despite all the, like, I think that you probably are, like, do have a few close friends, and maybe, or even pets or something that you really do, like, connect well with, and that small little circle you've got there really kind of gives you strength. So we have the Hermit. What is this person, my viewer's hidden talents? I feel like you're someone who can really make a positive situation out of, like, a seemingly, like, hopeless one or negative one. Like, you get by. Even if you had barely any money, you manage to, like, make abundance. Like, and maybe you're even someone who's, like, came from, like, extreme poverty, but now you're, like, really well off. This is Dominion. That's Two of Wands. Queen of Cups. Yeah, you're very empathetic. Oh, hold on. Okay, we have the Star, the High Priestess, what is they, and then the Lover's card. So, yeah, I was literally about to say, when I said you're empathetic, I was about to say psychic. because of like the ancient wisdom, and this continuance card made me think that. So then boom, and as well as the Queen of Cups, she's literally a psychic, but then boom, there's the High Priestess that comes out. So, and yes, the Star, you're very, very hopeful. I think that you've had to make a lot of hard choices in your life. I think that you have like an incredible amount of like discernment. It's not even, it's like you're really, really passionate, and like you go for what it is that you want, and you're confident in it, but it's not even like just, it's not just like cockiness, it's like you just have like an amazing amount of discernment. So you really are good at knowing that you're going to succeed. It's like you know that you're going to succeed. Probably incredibly talented at knowing exactly when people are lying, or knowing like how people are feeling. You're very good at being able to relate to them, even if you've never gone through that exact situation. Going back to like what I said, I feel like people sense that in you, and that's why they would come and talk to you. They kind of just know that you're someone who would understand them. I think that you have a really, really deep understanding like of yourself too. Like I think you're very confident in who you are and your morals and what the right and the wrong things are, and you stand by them. And that, to me, this is like really like super awesome energy, to be honest. If if you are in a relationship, well, even if you're not, I'll just say that being in a relationship, you would be a very great partner, because I feel like you would be like a true partner. You would give just as much as you take. You would strive for like balance, equality. You would be someone who would truly listen to someone's, like to your partner's problems. And you'd really want to come up with a solution that was actually fair. I think that you also probably, I think you like you listen a lot to your own like inner voice, but it's not to say that you don't listen to other people or like look at other people's opinions. It's just that you probably do like a lot of like, and if you don't, I would say that you should do more praying and meditating, because I think that you would find a lot of like answers and wisdom in that. And I feel like, again, like you're someone who's like would be a very good partner, be a very good friend, really like great like to give people advice and listen to them, but at the same time you don't give too much. You really like I think you are probably more of an introvert though, and that's almost like why people want to know what you think. I do think you are someone who like, because the High Priestess doesn't just share everything she knows, and she doesn't just talk to anybody. She does talk to the Queen of Cups, but what I'm seeing is like I said before, is like you might be an introvert, you might be a very quiet person, you might not say things often, but when you do say things, they're important. You don't just constantly blab and whatever, you know, like it's actually meaningful. You have meaningful conversations. You might actually be someone who does not enjoy fake conversations or fake relationships or just silly chit chat. You know, you really look for like the deeper You probably love talking about like deep things, you know, like spirituality or like space or like where do we really come from or like all kinds of different like theories out there. You might be someone who really loves to learn about all kinds of different religions and history. And I really think that you're someone who's like incredibly fair. It's like even if you are somebody who like it's like your hidden talent is like being like very much kind of like the middle ground almost, like being able to like study history and recognize um like say I don't know, I was just kind of like the thought that popped into my mind was like the way it seems like in the world today where there's like a lot of like hostility when it comes to like stuff like politics and whatnot, and it seems like at least what we're presented with in like the media where people are very like extreme one way or the other, and you seem like somebody who would do very well in talking to people on any and every side, like being able to truly like understand every part. Doesn't even mean that you're necessarily going to agree with everything that people say, but you really truly listen. You're not just someone who is like one extreme side and this is how you think and you don't want to listen. You really want to understand people, and I really think that that's your hidden talent. I think that you even like, I think you're a very fair person. I think that you would get along with like men and women, people on the left, people on the right politically, people of all different religions, you know. Um, and people recognize that in you, and then they admire that. So I do think that you could potentially be like a really great like teacher potentially, or counselor. I mean, the Hierophant didn't come out, but this card reminds me of it. And it's like two, you know, and you have this Two of Swords cards, which is like the moon in Libra. That's all about balance and stuff. So, yeah, I do think that those are your hidden talents. You're a pretty cool person, Pile One. Yeah. Let me know in the comments if that resonated with you. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. So we're asking what are your hidden talents? I'm going to start by putting down the pre-shuffled cards I have. This one on top is just a major arcana. It's kind of just like my major archetype, I suppose you could say. And then I'm going to use the Mystic Medleys Tarot to clarify and get more details. Okay? So we have Judgment. We have Tulsi, which says faith. We have Feast, which says slow down and celebrate yourself, number 29. We have number 1, Clarity, which is carrots. That has the sign of Virgo. And this one says Illumination. Ooh. Wow. So this is like really, really powerful. I feel like right off the bat that your hidden talent is you really might be like like psychic. I'm just gonna say that. And you know, you could be somebody who's very much into like the occult, you know, like Judgment is like Scorpio energy. Very like studying like or into like very like maybe like witchy type things. And it could be like, I mean, it really, and it, I said witchy, but like it could really be anything. You could like, 'cause I see faith here, so you could even have like a very specific, like you could be Wiccan or something. I don't know, but you could have a specific religion that you follow, but it has some level of like, um, like knowing to it, because we have like, because judgment is really about like, you know, seeing things like the naked truth, you know, because it's like Judgment Day, you know, it's like people are raised up from the dead, and they're, you know, it's like the other cards usually show them as like other tarot decks, it's like all these naked people rising up from the dead, from an angel, and they're going up to like meet God, and now it's like you're going to be judged based on what you've done. Like this card in particular is like digging up stuff. So, and then you got clarity and illumination, so that's what made me think like, you know, like psychicness, like someone who sees things a little bit differently or knows things, has dreams. You might be someone who also just like, maybe you're like a real big truth seeker, you know? Like you really like want to find the truth of certain, of like whatever situation, like heck, I was thinking, you know, the thing that popped in my mind is like being someone who would be good at being like a journalist or a detective. Something that like required uncovering the truth. Take it as you will. I mean, I think that you have a very, very sharp mind, and you're very good at finding the truth. But if this was going back to like, say, like a religious type of thing or a spiritual thing, then you have like a very, very strong faith in what you know. And that's pretty cool. Like, you know, like if you, I love that kind of energy, to be honest. Like somebody who, like, no matter what their religion is, like the energy of like if you believe in God or whatever, and it's just like, it's not a defensive thing. It's not like you need to go out. You don't argue with people, but it doesn't matter. You know, you have faith. You know what you know. You know what you've experienced, and no matter how much more, no matter how much you dig and find out more, it's never gonna shake your faith. You know, if anything, it's just gonna make it stronger. And I think that's like really, like, pretty cool. Yeah, I could totally see you being someone like a journalist or a detective or just something, maybe a writer or something. Like, I don't know, because it's like even this, like, reminds me of, like, you know, the Eye of Providence, you know? You think, like, Illuminati or something, and it's like wanting to know the secrets of things and wanting to find out. You might be really into that. And that's probably a talent, is you're probably someone who's actually able to uncover the truth. Carrots are good for your eyes. So no doubt you see things differently. You take that how it will. I mean, you could literally have a hidden talent of being someone that, like, with your actual eyeballs are able to spot things, like literally physically, or it could be more of like a metaphorical thing of, like, you know, being able to see. I do not know much about the Tulsi plant. Makes me want to look it up. You know, I do have this book here, and I'm curious. Tulsi is famed for its connection with all that is sacred. The plant is believed to be a divine representation of the gods themselves. When Tulsi appears to you, it's a sign you have faith in the unseen powers that guide your life. If there is a confusing or stressful situation afoot, rest assured that you're not forgotten or abandoned by divine love. If there is something occurring that you do not understand, accept this as fully as you can. Do not give in to worry or strife, for everything is working according to a divine plan. With time, this will become perfectly clear. I mean, and that's kind of what judgment's about, is like finally realizing the true plan. If a relationship is at the heart of your inquiry, you're put on notice that the connection is likely a karmic one. Confusing behavior from the other person might only be understood as residue from past life or soul contract. It protects from unwanted influences, clearing the aura to maintain a stronger alliance to our personal path in this lifetime. Drawing this card indicates a close proximity to your true destiny as a soul. If there's no major confusion in your life, Tulsi is here simply as a wink and a nod from the divine that you're walking the right path. If you're under stress, Tulsi reminds you to bring the sacred into your daily life and restore your faith. And it says, slow down and celebrate yourself. I like that. Alright. And it's got purple on it. It reminds me of like the crown chakra. Alright, Spirit. What hidden talents does my viewer have? Six of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, Page of Swords. I guess I'll do 5 because pile 1 got them both. And the 10 of Cups. So, yep. Right off the bat, like I said, is that like the Page of Swords, what you think says you're someone who really does a lot of research, wants to find answers to things. Kind of funny because like every time I see this guy on the Two of Wands, it always makes me like think of like, I don't know, like some like little secret society because of the way that he is like you know, and the way, I don't know, just like that kind of like, I just picture that's what like, I don't know, people in like some little secret society when they do a ritual would look like, I guess. It's so funny because I'm getting like this feeling of like almost like you're like a rebel, and it's almost like the faith that you have is not necessarily tied, like how I said in the beginning, I was saying like whatever, like you could be religious, and I don't even mean like, it's almost like being like, okay, I do believe in God and I believe in spirituality and I have my own faith, but like there's some kind of like maybe you're like incredibly bothered by like corruption in like the church or something like that, and you're just someone who really strives for the truth into like, you know, if there's like hidden skeletons, you know, wanting to expose that. And I feel like that's your talent, is being able to find those answers. And I feel like you're not someone who like wants that for like glory, you know. I feel like if it's just for like the simple matter of like knowing the truth. And also like, I get this this sense because of the Five of Pentacles, it's almost like being angry at like, it's like being like, okay, I really have real faith in spirit, and yet when I look around, these churches and these religious people, they're just leaving people to suffer in the cold, and that's not right, you know? And you're like, I want to know why. I want to find the truth. Oh, hold on a sec. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. Yeah, so I think I was saying something about, like, I mean, it's the same stuff. You're just really good at, like, probably recognizing. I think one of your hidden talents is not only uncovering the truth, but it's like, well, I got that phrase, like, the truth will set you free. So, whatever it is that you're, like, if you, whatever you work on trying to dig up, it would be very helpful. It might even be helpful, like, to your own family. It could be, like, about family secrets, too. Let's get some more tarot. Spirit, what hidden talents does my viewer have? It's like leading the blind is what I heard. Probably be a very good leader. The Three of Swords. Spirit, what hidden talents? Using pain to... It's a lot of pain. You got Five of Swords, and this is Sad Squirrel. It's an extra major arcana in this deck. I was gonna say being able to use, like, pain, lies, and deception, like, probably able to, like, tell that they're lies and and deception. Being able to use them for, like, your got the King of Cups, but use it for, like, your, kind of like to your advantage, like turn pain to power is what I heard. And the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like you're I think you are really good at knowing when people are lying or hiding something. And I think that, like, lying, hidden stuff, betrayals, things like that, of that nature, I think it really makes you mad, actually. And it bothers you a lot. I think that you are a very, like, empathetic person, but also, like, you're very good at, I think you actually might be someone who's, like, on the surface appears very calm, but, like, there's just so much bubbling underneath the surface. Like, you don't really wear your heart on your sleeve, and you don't, like, necessarily overtly, like, freak out and get pissed and cry or something. But things like I said, using pain as power and being able to, like you feel really deeply about things, but you don't just sit there and cry. You're someone who takes action. I feel like you probably, like, operate really well under stress and chaos because you have a very clear vision of, like, what you want, what you believe to be the truth, what you know to be the truth. Like, that's not even like I believe it. It's like I know the truth. You have such a very, like, steel hard faith whether it be it could be like in yourself, in your religion, whatever it is, you know? And it's like, I feel like I just heard like, cause he's like ringing a bell, and I just heard like something like whistleblower, like, so one of your talents might be not only like finding the truth, like I keep going back to like a journalist or something, like being somebody who like is able to like really like find the truth of a situation and dig up the truth, and then also being brave enough to like expose it. When corruption really, really bothers you. Corruption, lying, betrayals, things like that. I think you're a very good, like, kind of like spy. I think you're very good at gathering information and, like, kind of like going undercover. I'm really curious about who you are and what it is that you do and what you're interested in. Because I could totally see you being someone who was like an investigative journalist or something, or maybe you do have like your own podcast or like YouTube where you talk about crimes or something like that. Like maybe you're really into like crime. So if you were like ever thought, like I just want to tell you that like let this be confirmation or validation. If you ever thought like, man, I really want to be a detective or I want to be a journalist or something like in that line of work, but you're like, I can't do. You can. You would be like fantastic. You have absolutely like a hidden talent for that. I could even see you being someone who's like an anonymous like writer or something, like someone who like puts things out there to, for the world to see or online or whatever it is, and it's like you're anonymous in it. Like, so I'm like, who are you? Like, what are you like looking into? I'm very curious. Like, if you, or like a medical examiner, something like that. I do have like I get a really like a big strong like almost like true crime kind of thing here. I mean, look, even the way this like King of Cups is like with his little telescope is out there looking, probably very good at like interviewing people and getting information out of people. And like I will say this though, this card here that says slow down and celebrate yourself. I feel like you really definitely don't let secrets or things that you don't know or whatever it is, don't let them drive you nuts. Don't let them make you mad. Yep. That's basically all I keep getting. I keep even getting other things like just like you're not going to let people sweep things under the rug. I mean, I think you're a brave person. I think like you're just someone who like, when I say confrontational, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that as like as a talent, like being someone who's not afraid to be like, hey, I know you're lying. I know that that's wrong. I don't believe you, or whatever it is. I think that that's a great talent that you have, and um, being ready to like defend your position as well. It's kind of interesting because it's almost like when I said like being an anonymous writer, I almost get this sense like I could see you being like, it's almost like I just wonder if you have like a blog out there or something where you are seemingly anonymous but at the same time famous, like at the same time revered for what you do. It's interesting. It's pretty cool. What's the Two of Wands? I just want one. The Eight of Wands and Strength. Those are both eights. It's like more little brums. I think I said that in the beginning, like you could be into witchy stuff. So I mean, you could be a little witch with some like with a little coven or whatever. But could also be representing like this enemy potentially. And I think that you have a lot of pride in what you do, and but not in like a bad way, you know. It's a good thing to have pride. You know, you don't want too much of it. You know, you gotta be humble too. So I love the Strength card because it's kind of both like, it's a really good balance of like having pride and being humble, you know, and having compassion. Damn, you're really good at getting information out of people. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, you really are good at like wrestling information out of people, even if it was like, it's like going into the lion's den, you know, like being really good at like thriving in a really chaotic or potentially like dangerous or just that kind of situation, being like someone who's like so confident in that, like I could see you being someone who's you're not easily intimidated yourself. That's why you should celebrate yourself, because look how confident she is. So just, yeah, your hidden talent, man. You're cool. I like you. So anyway, let me know if that resonated, especially this pile, because I'm really curious, like, who are you? What are you into? Tell me. Bye-bye.